For those of you who are always on the go, remember mindful moments.
Bite-sized knowledge, right?
Exactly. Perfect for those mental snacks throughout the day. Narrated by AI, too. All right, so have you ever wondered what separates like companies that just exist from the ones that become like legendary?
Oh, yeah.
We're about to unpack some secrets from the companies that made that leap to legendary.
Okay.
And this is according to Jim Collins' research in the book Good to Great.
Right.
So Collins spent 5 years on this research,
Right.
and he compared companies that made that huge jump to greatness
Yeah.
versus the ones that didn't. And the results were really fascinating.
Yeah.
The good to great companies, they actually outperformed the market
Mm-hmm.
by almost 7 times in the 15 years following their transitions.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about a small difference here.
Right.
So I was pretty skeptical at first.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what could really separate the companies that just tick along
Yeah.
from the ones that become legends?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's not about having some like magical formula or
Right.
like overnight success or anything like that.
No.
The first ingredient, and this one really threw me for a loop, is something that Collins calls level 5 leadership.
Level 5 leadership.
All right, you got my attention.
Okay.
What's so special about this level? I mean, it sounds like a video game power-up or something.
I know it does sound kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it's more like a hidden superpower.
Okay.
And it's not what you would expect. I mean, you see, we're bombarded with images of like these charismatic CEOs, you know,
Right.
the Steve Jobs archetype,
Oh, yeah.
right? But these leaders at the helm of the good to great companies,
Mm-hmm.
they were a different breed.
Okay, so less rock star, more what?
Quiet determination.
Mm.
A deep-seated humility combined with an almost like stubborn will to see their companies succeed.
Mm.
What really struck me is their ambition wasn't about personal glory.
Right.
It was all about the company itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you give me like an example of that to really bring it to life?
Yeah. So Darwin Smith at Kimberly-Clark, he's a prime example.
Okay.
When he took over as CEO, they were known for paper mills.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty traditional business.
Yeah. Smith made this decision that at the time just seemed downright crazy. He sold off the paper mills
What?
to focus entirely on consumer products.
That's like shaking things up big time.
Yeah.
What was the reaction to a move like that?
Well, I mean, Wall Street analysts were baffled.
Yeah.
The media called him foolish.
Oh, wow.
Even people within the company, they questioned it.
It sounds like a huge gamble.
It really was a gamble.
Yeah.
But Smith had this unwavering belief in the potential of consumer products.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't afraid to make a tough decision, even if it was unpopular.
So he makes this bold move, ignores the naysayers. What happens next? I mean, did Kimberly-Clark go down in flames?
No, quite the opposite.
Oh.
25 years later,
Yeah.
they were thriving, beating out giants like Procter & Gamble
Wow.
in several product categories.
That's impressive.
It is.
Yeah. So Smith's crazy decision turned out to be incredibly visionary.
Right.
That's a pretty powerful illustration of this level 5 leadership in action.
So they're not afraid to like challenge the status quo,
Right.
even if it ruffles some feathers.
Exactly.
And they do it all without needing the spotlight.
Right.
I mean, they're not driven by their ego
Right.
or the need for like public adoration.
Yeah.
The focus is on building something great that will last.
Exactly.
It really makes you think about what truly defines effective leadership, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay, so we've got this humble yet fiercely determined leader in place.
Right.
What's the next piece of the puzzle?
Okay, so this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Good to great companies flipped the script on a key aspect of building a successful organization.
Okay.
Instead of the usual figure out your strategy and then find the people to execute it, they did the opposite.
They found the people first.
They did.
That's counterintuitive.
It is.
Why would they do that?
Think of it like this. If you're building a team to win a championship,
Okay.
you want the best players, right?
Of course.
Doesn't matter as much like what specific plays you run.
Mm-hmm.
If you got the talent to adapt and excel in any situation,
Right.
that's the principle behind first who, then what.
Okay. I'm starting to see the logic here. But how do you actually put that into practice?
Ah,
How do you find like the right people,
right.
the A players,
Yeah.
before you even know exactly what you'll be asking them to do?
It's about being incredibly rigorous in your hiring process,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that people are your most valuable asset.
Right.
And it's about making tough decisions even when it's uncomfortable.
So no more settling for good enough.
Yeah.
Just to fill a position.
Yeah,
You're saying it's better to have an empty seat than the wrong person in it.
that's exactly it.
Wow.
Good to great companies were ruthless
Mhm.
about getting the right people on board in the right roles.
Yeah.
They understood that a single wrong hire could derail the entire journey.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So they weren't afraid to make changes when needed. Even if it meant like letting go of someone who wasn't the right fit.
Absolutely.
They had a saying,
Yeah.
when in doubt, don't.
Mhm.
If they were completely convinced about someone,
Right.
they didn't bring them on board.
No.
Wow, that takes discipline.
Yeah.
Makes you really think about the long-term impact of every hiring decision.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we got our level 5 leader
Yeah.
assembling this all-star team.
Right.
What's the next step on the path to greatness?
This is where things get really interesting.
Ooh, hey.
It's about embracing a paradox, something Collins calls the Stockdale paradox.
A paradox.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds intriguing.
It is.
I'm all ears.
Okay, so it's named after Admiral James Stockdale.
Yeah.
He was a prisoner of war during the Vietnam War.
Right.
He noticed something about the prisoners who didn't survive.
Okay.
They were the optimists.
Wait, the optimist didn't survive.
Yeah.
But isn't hope crucial in a situation like that?
It is.
Okay.
But there's a difference between blind faith and like a grounded understanding of reality.
Mm.
The optimists kept setting themselves up for disappointment. They'd think we'll be out by Christmas,
Yeah.
then Easter, then Thanksgiving.
Right.
And each time, their hopes were dashed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So it's not about ignoring the harsh realities
Right.
of the situation.
Exactly. Stockdale said, "You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be."
That's powerful.
Yeah.
But how does this apply to the business world?
Mm.
I mean, we're not talking about literal survival here, are we?
Well, it's about having the courage to face like the brutal facts of your market, your competition, your own weaknesses,
Yeah.
even when it's uncomfortable.
Right.
The good to great companies didn't shy away from these realities. They embraced them.
Wow. Okay, so it's not about burying your head in the sand and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging the challenges
Yeah.
while maintaining that unwavering belief in your ability to overcome them.
Exactly. It's that delicate balance between realism and faith
Right.
that allows you to adapt and innovate.
Do you have a business example that illustrates this paradox
Yeah.
in the real world?
Okay, think about the grocery industry back in the 1970s.
Okay.
You had these two major players, Kroger and A&P,
Mm-hmm.
both facing similar challenges with the rise of supermarkets
Right.
and suburban shopping.
So how did each company respond to this shifting landscape?
Well, Kroger took the Stockdale paradox to heart.
Oh.
They looked at the changing demographics, the new shopping patterns,
Yeah.
and they adapted their business model.
So they embraced the brutal facts and innovated.
Yeah.
And what about A&P? Did they follow a similar path?
A&P clung to their old ways.
Oh.
They refused to acknowledge the changing reality of the market. They remained stuck in the past,
Yeah.
which ultimately led to their decline.
It's amazing how two companies facing the same challenges
Yeah,
can have such drastically different outcomes.
it really is.
It all comes down to leadership mindset
Right.
and the willingness to confront reality.
Yeah, and that leads us to another fascinating concept from the book,
Okay.
the Hedgehog Concept.
The Hedgehog Concept.
Yeah.
Okay, now you've really piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
Okay, so it's about simplifying a complex world and focusing on what you can be truly great at.
Okay.
Collins uses this analogy of the fox and the hedgehog.
Okay.
The fox is clever, cunning, always trying different strategies.
Right.
The hedgehog, on the other hand, has this one simple defense.
Okay.
It rolls up in a ball of spikes.
So the hedgehog has this one core strength
Yeah,
that it relies on no matter what the situation.
exactly. And in the business world, it's about finding your own hedgehog.
Okay.
That
yeah.
core area where you can excel,
Right.
where you have the potential to be the best in the world.
So how do you figure out what your hedgehog is? Is there a formula for that?
It's not a formula, but there is like a framework that Collins outlines.
Yeah.
He talks about 3 overlapping circles.
Okay, I'm visualizing these circles. Walk me through them.
Okay, so the first circle represents what you can be the best in the world at.
Okay.
And it's important to note, this isn't about what you want to be best at.
Right.
It's about what you truly have the potential to dominate.
So some honest self-assessment is in order here.
Yes,
No wishful thinking allowed.
exactly. The second circle represents what drives your economic engine.
Okay.
What's the key metric that fuels your success?
Mm.
Is it profit per customer, profit per store?
Right.
You need to identify that core driver.
Makes sense. And what about that third circle? What does that represent?
This is where passion comes in.
Okay.
What are you deeply passionate about as an organization?
Mm.
What gets your team excited to come to work every day?
I'm seeing how these circles connect now.
Yeah.
It's not just about being good at something or making money.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot where your capabilities,
Mm-hmm.
your economic engine,
Right.
and your passions align.
That's the essence of the Hedgehog Concept. It's about simplifying your focus
Right.
and aligning all your efforts with that core understanding of what you can truly be great at.
So can you give me an example of a company that nailed their Hedgehog Concept
Sure.
and saw those amazing results?
Okay, one of the most captivating examples is Walgreens.
Walgreens.
Yeah, remember how they outperformed giants like GE and Coke?
Yeah.
They did it by focusing on a simple yet powerful hedgehog concept,
Yeah.
becoming the best, most convenient drugstore
Okay.
with high profit per customer visit.
That doesn't sound particularly revolutionary.
I know, right?
What was so special about their approach?
It wasn't about the complexity of the idea. It was about their unwavering commitment to it.
Okay.
Walgreens relentlessly pursued convenience,
Mm-hmm.
opening stores on corner lots for easy access,
Okay.
clustering them tightly together,
All right.
and offering services like 1-hour photo developing
All right.
to increase profit per visit.
So they found their niche
Yeah.
and exploited it brilliantly.
Exactly. They understood their strengths, their economic drivers,
Mm-hmm.
and what they were passionate about,
Right.
and they aligned everything they did with that understanding.
This is a powerful reminder that sometimes the simplest solutions
Yeah,
are the most effective.
absolutely.
Okay, so we found our Hedgehog Concept.
Right.
We've got the right people in place.
Right.
We're facing the brutal facts.
Mm.
What's next?
Okay.
How do we actually make this leap from good to great?
This is where the idea of the flywheel comes in.
The flywheel.
Yeah, it's the idea that good to great transformations don't happen overnight.
Okay.
They're the result of sustained, consistent effort applied in a single direction.
So no magic bullets or quick fixes?
Nope.
It's more like pushing a heavy flywheel.
Yeah.
Slowly building momentum over time.
Precisely. Imagine pushing a giant flywheel. At first, it's incredibly difficult to get it to budge,
Right.
but each push, no matter how small, adds momentum.
Right.
And as you keep pushing consistently in the same direction,
Yep.
the flywheel starts to spin faster and faster.
Until eventually you reach a point of breakthrough.
Exactly. And that's when the magic really starts to happen.
Hmm.
The flywheel is spinning so fast, it becomes almost unstoppable.
Do you have an example of a company that effectively utilized this flywheel effect?
Yeah. Circuit City's rise to dominance is a great illustration.
Okay.
They spent over a decade methodically building their business,
Mm-hmm.
refining their concept,
Right.
and accumulating momentum.
And it wasn't until 1982,
Yeah.
9 years after Alan Wursel took over as CEO,
Right.
that they fully committed to their superstore concept.
Right.
And what happened then?
Their flywheel hit a point of breakthrough,
Mm.
and their growth exploded.
Wow.
From 1982 to 1999, Circuit City generated cumulative stock returns
Yeah.
22 times better than the market, surpassing even industry giants like Intel and Walmart.
That's a testament to the power of patience and consistency.
Absolutely.
Mm.
It's about resisting the temptation to jump from one shiny new thing to the next,
Right.
and instead focusing on building momentum in a single direction.
So what about those companies that don't make the leap?
Yeah.
What causes them to stumble?
That's where we see the doom loop in action.
The goon loop.
Yeah. It's the opposite of the flywheel.
Okay.
Instead of consistent, focused effort,
Right.
we see this pattern of lurching back and forth,
Okay.
chasing quick fixes, and failing to maintain a clear direction.
So it's like pushing the flywheel in one direction,
Right.
then suddenly switching directions and pushing it the other way.
Exactly. And this constant shifting of gears
Yeah.
creates chaos
Right.
and drains energy, preventing the company from building any real momentum.
What are some common mistakes that companies make that lead them into this doom loop?
Well, one common trap is the over-reliance on acquisitions. Companies often try to buy their way to greatness
Yeah.
instead of building it organically.
The allure of the quick fix.
Exactly. Another pitfall is the selection of leaders who undo the work of their predecessors.
Right.
They come in with a new vision, a new strategy,
Yeah.
and they dismantle the existing systems,
Yeah.
disrupting the momentum of the flywheel.
So it's not just about having a great leader,
Right.
but about having a succession of leaders who can maintain that momentum.
Absolutely. And this brings us to a crucial question.
Okay.
What about the role of technology in all of this? Does technology drive greatness, or is it something else entirely?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Especially in today's, tech-obsessed world.
Yeah.
I'm eager to hear what Colin's research uncovered about this.
Well, prepare to be surprised, because while technology is undoubtedly important,
Right.
the good to great companies didn't view it as the primary driver of their success.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That seems so counterintuitive. I mean, we're constantly bombarded with messages about, the transformative power of technology.
Yeah, that's the prevailing narrative, but Collins's research tells a different story. They found that good to great companies became pioneers in applying technology,
Okay.
but only after they understood their hedgehog concept.
So they didn't chase after every new gadget or trend?
No.
They waited until they knew how technology could support their core focus.
Exactly. They used technology as an accelerator, not a creator of momentum.
Okay.
One of the most surprising examples is Nucor.
Nucor?
Yeah, a steel company that revolutionized the industry
Right.
with its innovative use of technology.
So they didn't see technology as their main advantage.
No, they didn't.
What do they prioritize instead?
Their CEO, Ken Iverson, ranked technology surprisingly low
Wow.
among the factors for Nucor's success.
Okay.
He emphasized their strong culture, their disciplined people,
Yes.
and their unwavering commitment to their hedgehog concept.
That's a powerful reminder that technology is a tool. Yeah. It's how you use it, not just the fact that you have it,
Right.
that makes the difference.
Absolutely. And this leads us to a common trap that many companies fall into,
Okay.
the technology trap.
The technology trap? Tell us more about that.
It's the tendency to get caught up in the hype surrounding new technologies, adopting them simply because they're trendy, not because they align with the company's core focus.
So it's like buying a fancy new sports car when you really need a reliable minivan to get the kids to soccer practice.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
The key question to ask is, does this technology fit our hedgehog concept?
Right.
If not, it's likely irrelevant, a distraction from what truly matters.
That's incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
It's a reminder to be strategic and discerning about our technology choices.
Right.
To ask ourselves, how does this serve our core purpose?
Yeah.
Not just, is this cool and new?
Exactly. It's about being disciplined and focused, not chasing after every shiny object that comes along.
It's a powerful reminder that building something truly great takes time, effort, and a whole lot of discipline.
It really does.
It's not about overnight successes or magic formulas.
Right.
It's about understanding your strengths, confronting reality, and making consistent progress over time.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for someone trying to build something great?
Right.
Whether it's a company or a project or even just a better version of themselves. What's the big takeaway from our deep dive into good to great?
Well, it boils down to this: building something truly great is a process, not an event.
Okay.
It's about consistent action, disciplined thinking.
Right.
And having the right people by your side.
So it's not about finding that one brilliant idea or having a stroke of luck.
Nope.
It's about grinding it out day after day.
Yeah.
Making incremental progress.
Exactly. And it all starts with having that level 5 leader at the helm.
Right.
Someone who's humble, driven, and committed to the long-term success of the organization.
Yeah, that quiet determination really makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does.
It's not about being the loudest voice in the room.
Right.
It's about having that unwavering belief in your vision.
And it's about surrounding yourself with a team of A players.
Right.
Those who are equally committed to the journey and who bring their unique talents to the table.
Right. That first who, then what principle
Yeah.
really challenges the way we traditionally think about building teams.
It really does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's about prioritizing people over strategy.
Absolutely. And it's about having the courage to confront the brutal facts.
Right.
To acknowledge the challenges without losing sight of the ultimate goal.
That Stockdale paradox is a powerful reminder that we need both realism and faith to navigate the ups and downs of any ambitious endeavor.
It is, and it's about finding your hedgehog concept.
Right.
That core understanding of what you can be truly great at.
That simple truth that guides your decisions
Yeah.
and helps you stay focused on what matters most.
And once you have all of those pieces in place, it's about pushing that flywheel relentlessly and consistently
Right.
until you reach that point of breakthrough.
It's amazing how those seemingly small actions
Yeah.
taken consistently over time
Mm-hmm.
can lead to such remarkable results.
It's the power of compounding applied to human effort and determination.
That's incredible. So for our listeners
Yeah.
who are on their own journeys to greatness,
Mm-hmm.
what's the one piece of advice you would leave them with?
Hmm.
What's the most important thing to remember?
I think it comes down to this: greatness is not about luck or circumstance.
Okay.
It's about choice. The choice to embrace humility, to build a great team,
Right.
to confront reality head on,
Yeah.
and to find that simple truth,
Right.
that hedgehog concept that will guide your every decision.
It's about having the courage to be different, to stay focused on your core purpose,
Yeah.
even when the world is pulling you in a million different directions.
And it's about understanding that the journey from good to great is a marathon,
Right.
not a sprint.
Yeah.
It requires patience, perseverance, and a deep-seated belief in your ability to achieve something truly exceptional.
That's an inspiring message to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Jim Collins' Good to Great.
Yeah.
We hope you found it as insightful and thought-provoking as we did. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast for more deep dives into the books and ideas that are shaping our world. And if you want to explore this topic even further, you can find a link to purchase Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, in the show notes. Until next time, keep striving for greatness in all that you do.